What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well on this Tuesday. And we've got a new phase of the Seattle Seahawks offseason starting today. That's right. Today marks the start of phase 3 for the Seattle Seahawks offseason. And I want to talk about it a little bit. Brady Henderson put out a few tweets yesterday going into some detail about the nature of this phase 3, which is best known as OTAs, or Organized Team Activities. And I'm going to go over what he said, and I'm going to go over what we might get to learn, what we might get to parse from beat reporters and media members passing stuff along, just to give everybody an idea of what we hope to learn over the next couple of weeks here, because obviously yesterday I finished up my rookie deep dives. I finished looking at the 11 players the Seahawks drafted. Yesterday was the final video in that series, the Ricky White tape study. And now we need something new to talk about. I will expand a little bit on some of the undrafted rookie free agents the Seahawks got. There are a couple, but I don't think that's going to be all that compelling for most people. And I don't think there's going to be a lot for me to say. I wasn't over the moon about our UDFA haul. There were a couple of interesting guys, but for the most part, I'm already I kind of feel like I've looked at everything that we need to look at for this rookie class. So we would love to get new stuff to talk about with the Seahawks. And these OTAs, or Organized Team Activities, have a chance to provide that. So let's go through these tweets. Tomorrow, which is now, of course, today. In fact, by the time you're watching this video, it may have already started, marks the start of phase 3 of the Seahawks offseason workout programs and the first of their 9 scheduled OTA practices. Only 3 of those OTAs will be open to media members, and those aren't until next week. So understand that we may not be getting all that much. Understand that a lot of these OTAs are behind closed doors. We're not necessarily going to learn a lot. So if you're looking for something to whet your appetite as we head into June, you might have to wait a little bit longer. And also understand that there's a distinct possibility that even when we get to those media open OTAs, I don't know if there's going to be a lot. It may end up being pretty matter of fact. It may end up just being like, oh, this guy was running this route. This guy was throwing this pass. This guy was running this drill. Who knows if there's going to be any particularly meaningful insights? And we are at the mercy of the beat reporters and media members passing stuff down. We are not there, obviously. I mean, I'm certainly not there. I'm not a media member. So, even if I was, it's a little bit of a trek for me. So, still probably couldn't do it. So, we are at the mercy of what people are willing to pass along. But there are going to be 9 OTAs over the next couple of weeks. 3 of them will be open to the media. So next tweet from Brady Henderson, the OTAs are voluntary. So there could be some players that don't show up, which that would be interesting if there are some players that aren't there and what their reasons might be for not being there. Obviously, we made some trades in the offseason to shed a couple of the players that maybe at least weren't thrilled with being members of the Seahawks. So you would think that maybe everybody's going to show up, but we will see. Next month's minicamp is mandatory, so that could end up being a little bit more fruitful in terms of data providing. From the schedule that was announced last month, we've got today, the 29th, so that would be Thursday, and then Friday. So our first 3 OTAs are over the next few days. These are all going to be closed off to the media. So we're not going to learn much here. And then you get into June, the 2nd, the 4th, the 5th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 12th. So we skip, let me see here. I think the 2nd would be Sunday, right? Because it's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So occasional days get skipped. There's like a 3-day break between June 5th and June 9th. But overall, it's a relatively packed schedule. It's about 2 weeks worth of OTAs, and it's 9 sessions total. And then a week or less than a week after the final OTA, we get into minicamp. June 17th through 19th, we have a 3-day minicamp. So there is going to be some stuff coming up here that will give us something to work with, but understand that the ability to gather information from these events is sparse. And some of the stuff they do is probably not even on the field. Some of it is probably like film study. Some of it is probably going over information, playbook stuff. So I would say that temper your expectations and understand that OTAs are many different things, and on-field work that is illuminating to us as fans is only one part of it. So there's the schedule. Pretty simple. It's going to be 2 weeks of intriguing fun for the players getting ramped up on this new season, but maybe not a lot for us. Now, Brady Henderson had one final tweet on this, basically going over what the OTAs represent. The biggest difference between Phase 2 and 3 is that 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 drills are now permitted, but there is still no live contact until training camp. So still no live contact, but they are adding a couple of drills that teams are allowed to do, which is obviously important. The 7-on-7 and 11-on-11, very big part of what these teams do to prepare. If you go to the image he posted here, it's just a screenshot from the NFL operations website that talks about what each phase allows. It's a 9-week off-season program. I believe all 3 of these phases are voluntary, and the first couple phases are relatively light for the most part. I guess technically speaking, the rookie minicamp isn't part of any one phase, but it does. It's obviously kind of wrapped into it. It's just an opportunity for the players to do some work with the team without, crossing over the bounds of what the CBA allows, because the CBA only allows you to have so many practices. It only allows you to have so many padded practices. So they have to be very strict on what is permitted and what is not. So phase 1 is just meetings, strength and conditioning, and physical rehabilitation. That's a phase where the only thing that we're really going to learn might be like, oh, Abe Lucas's knee is better, or Abe Lucas's knee is not better. Like earlier this offseason, we were talking a little bit about how Abe Lucas was lifting weights and looking good. So that probably comes from something like what you see in phase 1. Phase 2 is the following 3 weeks after that. You have individual and group instruction and basic drills, perfect play drills, and drills and plays with offensive players lining up across from offensive players and defensive players lining up across from defensive players. So what I would ask is, what about a guy like a Travis Hunter? Is he both? Can he be both? I guess we don't have that problem. We don't really have a two-way player, but kind of interesting how they divvy it out, right? It's offense lining up against offense and defense lining up against defense only. So there are a few on-field things that you can do, but very little. Still more than phase 1, which is basically nothing on field. Conducted at a walk-through pace, no contact, no team offense versus team defense drills. So you can see how stringent they have to be with this. It's kind of interesting. This is one of the concessions players get in negotiated CBAs. They lose pretty much everything when those CBAs get negotiated. They do gain restrictions on practice, and that's the one win they can carry back home with them after the CBA. And then we get to phase 3. Next 4 weeks, teams may conduct a total of 10 days of OTAs, no live contact, but 7-on-7, 9-on-7, and 11-on-11 drills are permitted. So I would assume that 9-on-11 is like the quarterback doesn't really get rushed or something. It's a way to keep the quarterback clean. I don't know. That's actually kind of interesting. I would assume that 7 offensive players versus 9 defensive players would be kind of unfair. I don't think that's something you would feel the need to put your offense through. But anyway, that's basically how it breaks out. Thought I'd just go over all that information for the video. And if we learn anything from these OTAs, I'll make videos talking about it, as long as I feel like it's of at least some meaning. Even if it's not a huge thing, but we're gonna wait for something of at least some substance, right? We're not gonna talk about every little thing that happens out there. We're gonna try to find things that are maybe informative, maybe educational, and we're gonna make the best of this off season as we can, because obviously now we're hitting June pretty soon here, and that is when the slow season really starts. So over the next couple of weeks, keep an eye out for some more OTA videos. I'll discuss anything that gets passed along. Again, I'm at the mercy of the beat reporters, but I do my best to round things up and provide context to anything that we hear. So look out for that, and I'll probably do some deep dives on these rookies that are UDFAs, maybe just 2 or 3, honestly. But yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Hopefully we find out something good. All right. See everybody either later today or tomorrow.